I had a bad sports injury about 3 or 4 days ago and I neglected it. So it has flared up. And one of the learnings is if you're playing sport, you should do warm up, which I don't do. And the other is that anybody who says 50 is the new 40 is lying, basically. I just turned 50 and it hurts like hell. So please excuse my sitting down because I can't stand for long. I need a clicker for the presentation. See, one of the things that I'm confused about when I come to these conventions is everybody here is involved in out of home. Then they call somebody from the client side and say, you should tell them more about out of home. Why would so many people who are in the out of home business come to listen to somebody who is not in the out of home business, telling them something about out of home? But what I can attempt to do is to tell you what in my experience has changed, and we are engaged in a high involvement category where shares are very sticky. Consumers take several months before they come to a decision, and this large presence on outdoors was largely curated as a launch and gain attention, newsy kind of an impact medium. And I think that is changing quite profoundly. And so if I take about 5-7 minutes to cover that, I guess it might be of some help to you. One is, we all know this, it's unskippable, and frankly, skippability is not the major problem in media today. I joined Hindustan Lever in 1999, and therefore I am, at the turn of the millennium, I was already in marketing. And in the last 25 years, what I've seen is that the most significant arrow of progress has been in measurability. And creativity has sort of taken a also ran status. Measure kar sakte ho. So anybody who has an Excel sheet will win over anybody who has an idea. Or certainly the idea guy will go to the Excel sheet guy and say, is this looking okay? But the Excel sheet guy never goes to the idea guy and say, अरे ये numbers को देखो जरा, ये idea के हिसाब से ठीक लग रहा है कि नहीं. So measurability has become the granddaddy, and creativity has become like, and the reason why only a few things are celebrated is because only a few things are truly great. Everything else is like tofu, for those of you, or paneer for that matter, largely colorless, tasteless, odorless. It's just part of the mix. And the other profound change that I've noticed, particularly in the last, say, 10 years maybe, is the algorithmic filtering and curation of everything that marketeers are putting money behind. And when I say algorithmic, I don't only mean how your feed is controlled. Every part of your being as a consumer, and we are all consumers, how your mail comes to you in Gmail folders, what your Spotify day list is, how your feed happens on Facebook, right down to, who your current friends are. Everything is determined algorithmically. And algorithm is explained away to say that, it is for customer excellence. Because you cannot deal with so many millions of moving parts, we are making it easy for you. And this is true, say, if you see the Netflix thumbnails, it is excellent, and their decomposition on parts comes down to more than 100,000 subunits, right? That prime value decomposition. But try searching something and it's very, very broken, because they don't want, the model is not meant for you to search. Model is meant to say that, Subhranshu and people like Subhranshu have seen this, so you also join the bandwagon. Now, in this environment, something else has happened, is that content which marketers used, I have a profession, I have to reach out to you at times that you are interested. And the difference between all other legacy media and digital media is all others were selling to people at large, and legacy media is selling to a specific person. At least in theory, it is selling to a specific person. And that specific person has to be tracked, and that specific person's attention has to be mapped at somewherecheaper.com. That is the model. And so if you are going to find people on somewherecheaper.com, then everything else is indulgence. So there is no distinction between artwork, installation, outdoor. Whereas outdoor is actually very loved by creative people. It is the biggest canvas that you can have. And in the process of the working tools for marketers have changed from being small, from big it has gone to small, from celebrated on occasions it has become always on, and from being large screen it has become small screen. And all of you know this, your relationship with the medium changes whether you're looking up to it like that or you're seeing it on your phone. And this is frequently happening with us. And profound occasions like, proceedings of global magnitude, when you see them on a small phone, they seem like they're happening in your backyard. So it shrinks your sense of distance, of how scalable it is, etc., etc. This is why unskippability is a very important part of the marketing mix, is that we have very few things which are larger than life, and attention is becoming the most precious commodity. Everybody is fighting for only our attention, and that attention is getting fragmented. And earlier when you went to a bookstore and they had, say, 3,000 different titles, they were curating based on what is selling. Today, with the digital long tail, everything is accessible, and so there is no need to store them on shelves. And this is a bad model, bad in the sense I'm not passing a moral judgment. This disempowers marketers, because now I have to pay for that algorithm to feed something to you, and you are also just following something which is coming to you. And the problem with the algorithmic feed is also that everything that you get is not profound, and certainly what is popular is not profound. And it is no secret, please don't quote me on this, that there are, generally speaking, less intelligent people in the world than very intelligent people in the world, right? And if the model is based on greatest number of eyeballs, then generally the less intelligent preference will become the mass preference. And so then you get sucked into this downward spiral. Whereas great brands are built on something profound, like, कुछ याद करने वाली चीज़ जो आपके दिमाग में एक hook डाले. Instead we have become Velcro models, small hooks, many hooks catching on to you, and this is not a great model from a brand building standpoint, which is why this is very important. And then the other part is this, what the mosaic is just a fancy word for ambient music, right? The kind you get in elevators or in spas or at airports. If you miss 5 minutes of it, no problem. You can work on your laptop. If you want to follow it very passionately, also no problem. So both ends are okay. It's the middle that's a problem, right? And in branding, middle ground is usually the most fractured ground. Everybody knows, that the Ritz-Carlton is a great hotel. Everybody knows that Janta Hotel is great value for money. It's the middle that's a problem. And in the middle, you need salient medium. And there was an English composer called Brian Eno who, came up with this concept of ambient. Ambient matlab miss ho gaya to koi problem nahi, you can catch up later on. Marketing needs things to break away from ambient, right? That it should not be ambient, it should be impactful, engaging, direct, in your face. That sort of a thing is becoming very, very rare, and OOH, in my opinion, is one of the only legacy medias which has survived in the sense that it coexists in this digital ecosystem, and now of course is turning digital as well. So it's very important, impactful I have covered. Contextual is the other thing, is the context and the mood in which you had I not told you that I have a bad back, you would have said, "Ye apne aap ko kya samajhta hai, kursi pe baith ke gyan de raha hai," But because I've told you now that my back is broken, then you are sympathetic. So even if I'm talking rubbish, you have more sympathy to suffer me for 4 or 5 minutes more. Now, the earlier, when you were only seeing things on television or in print and then on a hoarding, the hoarding was impacting you front of the mind. Today, when your whole day is, in scrolling, that scrolling model is by design not supposed to satisfy you. Meaning, if it satisfies you, why will you do more of this? So, it is just supposed to give you enough to keep you going. Now, you and I know that if I give you alcohol through a dropper, 3 drops every half an hour, you're not going to become an alcoholic. If you have to create deep immersion, you need a lot. So, in this digital environment, out of home is coming from the front of the mind to the back of the mind. As in brands like Coca-Cola or Nike or Apple, we all know they don't need to advertise aggressively to be top of your mind. But they are amongst the highest advertisers on all media, principally also on out of home, per my knowledge. And the reason for that is it has gone to the back of the mind. And every time you have an encounter, so much so that the color red might actually cue Coca-Cola to you. Then when you are in the process of consumption and leaning in, it comes to mind like that. Which is why when everything has become ambient, the biggest canvas also goes to the back of the mind. And this is a very important thing both for you who sell out of home and for those of us who use it to buy it. And for me, it is a no-brainer, because all my consumers are people who are on the roads. So why will I not advertise, out of home, because my business does not sit inside homes. So it was a no-brainer, but context is very, very important, and context is largely taken for granted in the present world. And then dominance on scale along with other people's curation of content. You see this ordinary, say this smartphone, even the most ordinary one, there are 4 billion on the planet today. Each one of them, the cheapest model, has more computing power than the entire planet had in 1969 when they sent a man to the moon, right? An ordinary electric iron has more computing power than NASA had in July 1969 when Neil Armstrong went to the moon. But the media model that they teach in MBA school is still the same, 360 degree, So obviously, if everybody is walking around with a studio, if everybody is consuming and engaging, your media model cannot be the same. So if there is a non-engagement medium, it needs to be very, very larger than life. Everything that we are getting now in our environment has shrunken, become faster, more capsuled, and always moving. And so therefore there should be a premium on things which are static, large, and in my personal opinion, this is only my personal opinion, that we have overvalued engagement. When I open everybody has a purpose, everybody has a reason why they want to engage with you. But if I open my refrigerator, there are 30 brands there. I don't want to engage with the ketchup there. At a deep spiritual level. I just want good ketchup, right? The ones that I want to engage with are the ones that are making an investment. And that is why dominance is important. Which is that you must have heard this saying that a flower is a weed that had an advertising budget, right? But it's literally true in the sense that when pollination began, they needed to be bigger, brighter, more colorful, so that the insects come and start that pollination. And one of the changes that happened in human mind when we interact with media is, why am I interested in this, right? So suppose, say as a fan, suppose I am a fan of Arsenal and somebody else is a Arsenal fan as well. He will think that I am a better person than another person who's a Liverpool fan and maybe a thief as well, right? So the fact is, anything else I may do, all things being equal, the fact that he shares what I share makes it like, nowadays I'm not a smoker, but when I was, you went outside and you smiled at the person who was smoking there. Both of us are killing ourselves, but you feel happy, ye bhi pita hai, wo andar wale nahi pee rahe. So the relational familiarity and dominance is a very, very important thing for brand building, and it is being neglected. Why is it being neglected? Because somebody has told us, engagement is a very important thing in marketing. But engaging for what purpose? Engagement, advertising is a commercial science, right? So you engage only for transaction. And if ultimately it is not leading to higher brand health, more transactions, or more people, it is of no consequence. And when I was in school, through the 80s and early 90s. Everybody saw Chitrahar, everybody saw Hum Log, and I'm not in a nostalgia trip, So therefore, if you saw a hoarding for Hum Log, it meant nothing because there was nothing else to see on television. So everybody is seeing it anyways. But today, Netflix on the road to the airport will put up massive screens because you are fighting for attention with perhaps the only salience that media mix can give you right now. So dominance at scale is very, very important. This all of you know. In this, I think programmatic buying is now pretty much table stakes. Everybody claims that we're, but the people we are working with, they have a proprietary platform called Immersive. What we find interesting is how miniaturized and how localized it can be, because a person will travel 100 kilometers to buy a truck, but he will not travel even 5 kilometers to get it serviced. So localization is very important for us. And if we can have other corroborating elements like cell phone traffic, etc., to show us whether the intended reach and eyeballs are being delivered, that is of value for us. We have also made good use, not only in terms of dynamic placement, because our business is different. For commercial vehicles, the hotspot is not Marine Drive, it is Kalamboli or Panvel, right? So we need to have the right place, but also whether the creatives are sharp enough. And this is one critical area where I think when I was a management trainee in Hindustan Lever, how you make outdoor hoarding was taught to you as a part of your brand stint. Now I find people come through, even mid-career recruits that I work with, they have not been taught the basics of outdoor advertising because it has become less and less frequent as a part of their regular mix. They will have a definite opinion on the GIFs and the social posts, but not on outdoors. And I think therefore a lot of clutter has happened, and it is robbing you of the kind of impact and delivery that you expect from the medium here. Sharper attention means localizing attention. Next, they will give me an electric shock. So I already had one. Yeah, I was telling him I had plenty of electric shocks for the day. We are also doing a lot of anamorphic projections. This kind of a thing where people can engage with the medium on scale is also paying us very rich dividends. We are doing a lot of that. We also want to work particularly in dealer environments because it's a high involvement purchase. They ultimately want to come back and be convinced with human contact. And at that point in time, if there is a lot of adaptive engagement that is possible on large screens, I'm not being prescriptive about how large, but that seems to make a world of a difference to consumer choice. All of this is good. Innovation is, if you travel 20 kilometers in the city, you will find only 3 or 4 that are genuinely noticeable, and it will remain with you. But somehow everybody feels that a nominal part of their mix must go to outdoors, even if it's not attention worthy. And in my opinion, programmatic, as I said, on scale, the only limiting factor right now is that a lot of India is last mile and a lot of India is percolating down to tier 2, tier 3. We are a $3.5 trillion economy growing at 7%, which means every 10 years we will double. But every extra $1 trillion of GDP and every 10 years of time will behave very differently. And India is an incredibly young country, right? 40 crore Indians are less than 20 years of age. So in every 10 years, you will see a mutation which will make the previous model fail. And so the model has to be and the current constraint is, unlike digital medium on phones, digital out of home is not really present, where we see a lot of white canvas opportunity in tier 3 cities and beyond. And I think the sooner that arrives, the more value will be unlocked. AI and ML, nowadays even for fixing breakfast, people will want to have a discussion on AI, ML. I already showed you how we are using it. I think the important piece is corroborating, arrow of progress. So if I have a heart attack now and I go to a hospital, I am guaranteed to have better treatment than I had 20 years ago, right? Same for a university, same for a school. But who is to say that the outdoor hoarding that is here today is definitely better, creatively speaking, than what was there 20 or 30 years ago? That is a matter of judgment. But everything around it, where it should be placed, who is it addressing, how it should be composed, all of that algorithmically can be located better, and with machine learning can be created better, is my opinion. So I think that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and I may have missed a few points. I think we have a quick chat here where I will cover the rest. Thank you for your time.